for him say na say we can see na yet say or match miracles aboaje omo e de omo charges aba bebre na asema no omo kan say they've been on miracle for about 1 year, so that is all person will justify or more arrest. In fact, we are not saying that Obidi Bonia don't arrest the person. Yes, I mean, in fact, in as much as some of the things that we don't agree with, we all want to uproot corruption because Africa now, and them say what's Africa now? What's an Ghana? Yem kosunya ye corruption. Na yenya yesusu nim say esi e no enra o man bill no man 50 million cities bill with 2 sureties, which is also a day a japade be a water that amount on every year some surety. Now question you say who is actually going to get this a project and something like that I wanted that. And in fact enra attach your crampo no so no kasa na mo etrimo be pa na mo pa wo mutrim nipa be pa no Ghana obetimi ayese. In fact ya say is it Roxin? It's a Japan campaign manager. No, it is yes, no a central region, Western North, yes, no Western North regional. It was a minister or chairman, no. I think it's all no na be judge so per se. Oh yeah, and then I Metro TV. A cozy, make a cozy. Me person me say about mere political aid. Yeah, ne. Akosua Manu akotina a Metro TV na. In fact. Wa explode papa. In fact, what him say case in the bay na obi e kan ye nche dante so now what church de na sia because of say oben to what church say yenko na yenko tie na in fact nebu ofu wakeka na adwen. In fact oka change this panelist no wo no a oye MP na things on ye Sam George Crampo a deputy no wakeka na adwen actually papa. It's for Yonko na Yonko he that video no embrane yembeto
him into this content to discourage him from becoming what he wants to become because he's been a thorn in the flesh of the government. And I said, well, but can you blame the NPP for saying this? Because you're not telling us anything. Mm-hmm. You were there yesterday, Akosua. Tell us, first of all, when did you hear the news? Who did you speak to? Why did you decide to go to Yoko? What did you find out went to Yoko? Mm-hmm. Charlie, what's the story?
As a tallest, so okay. Good morning to you and to the Deputy Minister. Good to see you here.
All right.
So Moro, I heard the news. I read it online actually. I saw a post on Facebook that said miracles had been, picked up. And, it was like, what's going on? So the usual trying to call, sending messages, asking if it's true. So it was about a half-hour uncertainty. And then I recall a conversation on Friday with somebody who had been trying to reach him, who had asked me, I haven't gotten in touch with him. And the feedback was, he skipped town for a few days. It's like, okay. So the whole arrest was like, in my mind, I didn't think he was even in town. Then I found out that he actually came. He wasn't running. He came to town. He was detained by immigration and subsequently picked up by Yoko. Now, like you rightfully said, no information, access to lawyers, problem. And even for my experience yesterday going there, hours of not knowing what's happening, then you're told there'll be an interrogation. His lawyers have to be present, of course. Bail hasn't been set. You find out also that he had actually been invited. So when he laid down his tools as an appointee on February of 2025, the person he handed over to, I believe his name is Dr. Gameli Hedrafia, who heads the Interministerial Coordinating Committee in Decentralization. That's the portfolio Dennis had. Thought it's right to conduct an audit. And when the audit was conducted, questions or there were red flags, which he reached out to Dennis to respond to. Dennis, within a week, responded to those questions. Now, there was nowhere where Dennis, dragged his feet or was uncooperative. In fact, from February of handing over, that letter to Dennis asking him to respond to the issues was in November, which is literally almost 8 months after he had Dr. Hedrofia had assumed his position. You ask him to respond to issues, he responds to the issues. Then there's an invitation in Yoko in 2026. Of course, he complies. He's not hiding. He's one of our most prolific, effective communicators.
Yeah.
Dennis doesn't hold back. The facts are the facts. He doesn't go personal. He sticks to the issues. Now, during the investigation, for anybody, if you've done anything wrong, the investigation would even give you a hint of what you believe they are going through. At which point, you probably have to lawyer up and say, maybe there was something there that I didn't take care of. Nothing. He cooperated fully. Then this happens. So it comes to what is the real intent of taking him through this process? What is the real intent in creating this fear and panic? And what is the real intent when routinely it is beginning to look like it doesn't matter if there is a hierarchy of needs, from the lowest of the foot soldiers within the opposition party to the highest members, everybody is facing some challenge. We have conversations on TikTokers who even re-echo sentiments of critics of government, and they are rather picked up and not the critics of government. We've had people being detained unduly, within the time limit of Dennis's arrest of 48 hours. Ideally, yesterday, they should have just processed him to court. That should have happened. So it begs the question, what style of governance really is this, where the basic fundamental rights of people are being trampled on? When you say it, sometimes on groups and on social media banter, you'd see them say, oh, you guys did same, this person was arrested. But Moro, if you look at the pain and suffering that characterizes the history of our party, of the people that for years and decades were vilified and traumatized, where people lost their lives, but we didn't give up. If we were to met that same treatment to the NDC, given what even transpired in the PNDC era, if you are telling us, oh, you jailed our people, you murdered people, it's history. In fact, it's history that has been conveniently taken out of school, so kids and even young people don't even know the history of this country. So where are we going? Is this how this country has to go? More, it'll get to a time that even a casual joke on TV would result in you being picked up just because it critiques government. And at the heart of it, I say, when I see the people being grabbed, when I see what even Dennis is going through, it signals a panic even in the NDC. Because you see, it's going to get to a time where the party and government are going to take critical decisions on the future of their party, where people will have to toe a certain line as to who they are going to support post John Mahama. And then these same security agencies will be unleashed on their own people. It's just a matter of time. Now, the precedent you set is continuing a cycle of vindictiveness. You promised a reset. Captured in your manifesto is even you touting tenets that we in the MPP champion. At least in the history of the party, you know that fundamentally we've always advocated constitutionalism, we've always advocated rule of law, we've always advocated basic human rights. People are being detained unduly. It's serving as a punitive measure, as if to say when you go to court, the court will not give you the outcomes you want. So let's let them suffer using detention unduly. Let's let them suffer using means that will cause pain and undue trauma on them. Look, there are people who basically go into a health crisis when their family members are picked up.
Yeah.
To make it a conversation of you did same. Moro, there's nowhere in our political history where an AG summoned bloggers and media and ran down an accused person even before processing him to court. Now we are hearing that even on the press conference that the AG ran, and I'm stating the Dubois case, he doesn't want that bit to be admitted in court. So what are we doing? It's fun and games. Can we contain it if we should come to power and our foot soldiers and our base are baying for blood and say that treat them the same way they treated you? We are always accused of being book long. You've heard it. MPP, you are all. There were people that were investigated. You never saw it in the news. There were people that were investigated for years and reported to Yoko. You never saw bloggers or even YouTubers who are doing hatchet jobs on these people for content. So now we are a nation obsessed with content. Every minister in the government wants an opportunity to trend. And it's not even based on their mandate. The last time I saw my brother here, I thought he was speaking to policy. He was dancing. And you see, you ask him the synergy between ministers and deputy ministers. And in that video while I was dancing, he was praising his minister. Because that is, he said, you serve at the behest of the minister. He didn't say you serve at the behest of the state or you serve at the behest of the president, who is the appointing authority to give you the opportunity to contribute to his vision. He's looking at how he panders to his minister. And that is what we are seeing. So for a so-called 55 million CD, malfeasance or whatever allegation you want to put together, because I feel like it's just been trumped up to gag him, you have issues that have not seen any consequences. Over 8 people died just going to queue for a job. The military processes, security services. 8 young girls died. Who was arrested? What was the consequence? There's been a flood in a space of 5 weeks. 2 major rainfall where people have died. Where it's come out that $130 million that is assigned to a project that would alleviate flooding is sitting at the ministry because the minister has ring-fenced it, saying that he has to audit. Meanwhile, the figures they are churning out is actually based on an audit which was conducted in 2023, 2024. So it's negligence that caused the death of these people. It's incompetence that caused the death of these people. Who has been arrested because of it? And all we see is you wear red gloves, you wear designer shoes, and you go and shovel rubbish and then say that it's good governance. You intimidate the opposition, you arrest TikTokers, you deny them access to lawyers, and this is okay for us in 2026. And Ghana as a bastion of democracy, actually, we are. We are supposed to be the champions of it. We don't care how we look in the eyes of the international community. And at the back end of this is that third term agenda. And I panic because the third term agenda is not necessarily to give John Mahama a chance. If that is what those in the party, the sycophants, as Fifi Kwete characterize them, are pushing him to do. And I will not say they are pushing him to do, he's championing it. He's behind it. If you can get rid of a CJ in the way they got rid of the CJ, and the real reason for getting rid of the Chief Justice, it will come out soon. And I hope the country will have the appetite to appreciate it. Dissent of any form should be, look, the worst vilified person in this country's history, I maintain, is the former President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo. What wasn't said of him? What wasn't said of his appointees whilst he was in government, whilst he was sitting on the seat? Even on this show, there are people who would send insults and denigrating messages, and it was read on set. The one who routinely read it has been promoted. She's now in America sitting there and still writing things on Facebook. Vilification is part of the job. I haven't vied for it. As just an advocate and a communicator with the party, I've even suffered same.
Okay.
That third-term agenda that they are cooking is what is triggering the arrest of dissenters, is triggering the arrest of TikTokers. And now they've taken the head honcho. The most effective communicator in the MPP today is Dennis Miracles Abuaji. You can't take it away from him.
What's the nexus between the third-term agenda and the arrest of persons who are deemed to have offended the law?
When you've offended the law, room is given for you to go through due process. Your fundamental rights should not be taken away from you. It's almost seen as threatening, right? To threaten and gag the best of you so that the rest panic,
right,
and think they can't speak up. But we will speak. The provision in the Constitution was clear. You will serve 2 terms. Introducing consecutive is not in the lingo. Article 66 is clear. And it is not to protect the best of us who want to assume to high office. It is to protect or prevent, actually, it's to prevent the worst amongst us from rising to the seat of power. So if people feel it's convenient for them to champion John Mahama and for him to accept that he wants a third term, to signal differently that he's not for it, but knows he's pushing it. He is pushing it. He cannot convince anybody.
How do you know he's pushing it?
He is pushing it.
How do you know?
Because you see, there are certain actions that are taking that the minute it comes down, you squash it. It won't go anywhere. The General Secretary of the NDC, his brazen, undiluted reaction to the third term was what told me that no, there are people within the party, high up, who are ring fencing that, who are entertaining that thought. They want it. They want it badly, but it won't happen. It won't happen because the good people of Ghana have to speak up.
All right.
It is not for him to change the rules of this country. And I'm saying that it is possible that they can make a certain change, a judicial tinkering that we won't see coming, and it will just bulldoze and turn the constitution upside down.
All right.
Just because of what they did
to
Tokonu.
All right. Kosi, thank you. Then we
How
can
do you
end
do
this
5 minutes? We took all the time in.
Yes.
So, Moro.
Yes, Akosua.
You know, I listened to him.
Okay.
And he couldn't speak to the abuse of power. He actually ran away from it. He couldn't even explain said bill conditions. And I see even viewers sending messages claiming that bill conditions, I mean, the thinking now based on what NDC has routinely been doing is that if you are charged or if there's an allegation on you and you are arrested, the amount for which it is believed you are involved in, the bill conditions should be the same. So you can imagine if you take a ministry like transport or roads and highways and you arrest the ministers there, okay, along with accountants there, big push is ring fence at how much? How much is the big push?
40 billion?
40
billion.
Billion. 14 billion.
40.
Is it?
Billion cities.
So it's let's say $4 billion.
Yes.
So the minister and the deputy, okay, and an accountant on that project should power switch, get called by whoever will be heading EOCO and says that there's an allegation that on ABCD road projects, this is what happened. Now the sum involved is $1 billion and your bill condition should be $1 billion. Does that make sense? Honestly, that bill conditions should be set on what is alleged. You have taken. If the person you believe you have the evidence, proceed to court. Let the court processes take place and get the conviction you are looking for. unless, again, like I'm saying, is a punitive measure to punish persons that you believe cannot be implicated in court, but you can use your own powers and discretion to punish them. You see, when he kept saying, oh, why haven't they arrested you? And I told him it's just a matter of time. He proves my point that there is a deliberate attempt. I am telling you, there's a pattern of routinely picking people up. And the timing of the arrest is often in relation to something that has seized national attention. For instance, Hanan's arrest last week, where one court grants him bail and another court says he can't be, granted bail. Where one judge doesn't see him as a flight risk, and yet they are using another judge to push that agenda. And what was the timing of it? The timing was the flood. And you're asking me how is flooding related to this issue? I'm saying that for a reset agenda obsessed with consequences, even when your own people are complicit in it, let us see the fairness and objectivity of this leadership in ensuring that persons who renege on their core mandates, which leads to the loss of lives, are also charged. Let us see that. Let us see the value placed on human lives. When people go and queue for jobs on the back end of a 24-hour economy that doesn't produce jobs and they die in the process, we haven't seen anybody charged. We haven't seen any convictions. Because it wasn't any big person's kid. Because they didn't matter. The floods, do you know how many families are beyond the human lives you can't place value on? Do you know how many lives have been reset? People's businesses, capital washed away. So families are grieving, business owners are crying. And what have you done? Thrown 300 million cedis to it like you did back in 2015 by telling the minister to release funds for storm drains. And when we are speaking and we are bashing you for it, your quick solution is, oh, the guy has responded through an audit, but you just call him. Because then it divides the opposition's attention. So I'm saying there's a pattern. Okay. The pattern is you arrest and then you give unreasonable, obscene bail conditions.
Right.
So you, in your ministry, if Sam George has signed a contract of whatever form for which you dance in admiration, because I'm sure that you were happy that he had made that move, should you be arrested in the future? And that sum is $80 million.
Okay.
You here, my I won't say my brother because it pisses the base of our party off when we refer to yes, and that is how the politics
so
have become.
I'm no longer your brother.
No, you're not my brother. You are not my brother. You've put my brother in cells overnight, over 48 hours. You cannot be my brother.
I should be your brother.
Yes, you guys are changing. You guys are changing the peaceful coexistence of our political system.
Okay. All right.
Decades ago, you killed our members. You killed and murdered people.
All right.
You are saying that we have jailed people. You murdered people. You reset families.
Okay.
Breadwinners.
All right.
We didn't kill or murder your people. You did that to us.
Your 5 minutes is up.
So the bail conditions you are using as a punitive measure,
okay,
you should go and tell Raymond Archer that, bro, because he's your brother. Okay. He's not my brother. Go and tell him that what you are doing, when the guns turn on us, who will speak for us? You.
Okay.
$80 billion, unless they bring the whole of Sisala East and West.
Sisala West and East.
So let me bring in
you still
Mohammed.
I was just a bit still would not stop a bit. How can you say that I'm not your brother? I thought you are my sister.
Today you are not. Release Dennis and maybe I'll consider.
Hey, when you say we should release Dennis, like I said, you're not being fair to the laws of the
I am being fair to the laws. It's been 48 hours. Beyond 48 hours, either process him to court. You could have processed him for court.
He was granted bail yesterday.
Let me tell you, the interrogation started at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock yesterday.
Yes.
And within same time,
and the interrogation lasted 3.5 hours.
Please, I'm coming. When you were speaking,
by
when you got your time,
the courts don't run a 24. But you brought in courts. I'm responding to it. The courts don't allow a 24-hour economy at the courts.
I allow you to have your 5 minutes. So
the courts don't allow a 24-hour economy. Release him now. Release him today.
Just get
Ask for the
condition,
right
when you
thing
meet the
to be
condition,
done.
he will be released. Nobody
Ask
is
for
interested.
the right thing to
No,
be done
Akosua,
and
listen,
stop
let's
using
have a
using
very-
bail conditions to punish opposition
Akosua, let him
members.
flow. I beg you, let him flow. I beg
No,
you.
see,
he knows the right thing. He knows. He knows the
The
right
right
thing.
You've said
thing.
it already.
Of course, I know
You've
the
said it
right thing.
already.
Let me speak. Let me tell you the right thing.
Please go ahead.
Call
So
your people
let me
out.
tell you the right thing.
Call them out.
So